Hello, welcome to Bible study. Jeremiah repeated his message for many years, so there is quite a lot of repetition in his book. So today, let's look at just a couple of issues that are talked about in chapters 8 to 10. Firstly, the problem of fake news. The people are unresponsive to the words of the Lord. They are clinging to their lies. They have constructed their own version of reality, where God owes it to them to rescue them. They are listening to teachers who have twisted God's word by writing lies. The leaders, the prophets, the priests, are assuring the people that there will be peace. And so, the people do not feel the need to change the way they live. Their tongues shoot lies like poisoned arrows. It sounds terribly familiar. Scams, fake news, conspiracy theories, listening to what you want to hear. How could they have known that Jeremiah was speaking the truth and the establishment was feeding them lies? Well, Jeremiah's character, his integrity, his motivation were consistent with his message. He worshipped God and depended on him. He spoke an unpopular message, even though it brought him rejection, sorrow, and even personal danger. He was motivated by love for God and love for the people. Whereas the teachers who were lying were motivated by greed. And the people were easily deceived because they too were motivated by greed and self-interest. They did not want to change, so they did not want to listen to Jeremiah. God said they were vulnerable because they had abandoned his instructions. So I've tried to think a bit about what is helpful for us in discerning what is true and what is fake news. Here are my thoughts. You might have better ideas. Think about who you are listening to. Are they knowledgeable, qualified to speak on that issue? Have they got good character? You may not know about them personally, but how about the organisation they work for? Is it accountable? Is there transparency? Is it a reputable source? Is it promoting a particular view? Check the facts as far as you can. Look past the headlines and find out more. And be committed to truth. No lying, even when it would make life easier. Keep your integrity. And don't be cynical. There is such a thing as truth, and some people do tell the truth. Some things are true, some things are false. Try and find out what is true. Keep real. Keep willing to learn, and don't jump to conclusions. Be wary of social media. I'm told that the algorithms feed you more of what you're interested in, which means you can get a distorted view of life. Secondly, we also see Jeremiah's broken heart. And not only Jeremiah's, but God's broken heart. Sometimes we wonder, is it Jeremiah speaking or God? Jeremiah shares God's heart, feels God's grief. If only my head were a pool of water and my eyes a fountain of tears. there is anger and pain in the heart of God. But in Ezekiel 33, God says, I take no pleasure in the death of the wicked. I only want them to turn from their wicked ways so they can live. Both God and the prophet Jeremiah would far rather their prophecy was not fulfilled. Jesus tells us to love one another like he loved us. Sometimes our hearts will break. We will weep tears for those we are praying for when we feel their pain and long for them to know Jesus. Chapter 10 finishes with a prayer of Jeremiah's own. There is no gloating, no complacency. He does not feel a better person. He knows he needs God's help. He knows how God is going to correct the people, but he knows that he too needs correction. He turns to God and trusts in God's mercy and love. He prays, "So correct me, Lord, but please be gentle." I guess we could all pray that. Thank you for listening. Bye.